name is Linda Sormin, Linda. Middle is Rotua. Last is Sorma.
Linda Sormin, the third floor exhibition artist, is here. So the idea is that we're going to be kind of walking you around the new floor, downstairs space here, and then taking you up to see the phenomenal. It's amazing. This Linda Sormin exhibition is it's nothing like Toronto's seen for a while. So I'm really excited for you guys to check it out. And in this sort of the pathway, we'll get you speaking to people. And then you'll get a really good overview of the reopening of it. You guys are the first eyes, so that's exciting. They have
Awesome.
their donor preview tonight, so you really are the first.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Perfect.
She also won
Had a council, Sobeys.
That's right. It's
Yeah.
the Sobeys one that's most recent.
I love long time no see.
I'm supposed to use the bathroom.
Yes.
This is so celebrated. The vision and the work just blows me away. She just won the Sophie's Award. Oh, did she? Well, I don't know when it was.
How well, Larry?
How was that Toronto?
It was great. Thank you for the baseball story. That was super fun.
That was fun.
Yeah, no, it was.
A little different, right?
Yeah, it was great, and like it was. We didn't know which way it was gonna go because.
I thought it was going to go the other way.
Same. But wow, tickets.
It helped.
It really did.
Interesting.
And what was like really, and we saw is that $50,000 to $100,000 works that really jumped.
I thought it was interesting. I've never seen the ticket prices grow.
Oh, right? Like
It's crazy.
you got 10,000. You got $10,000, or you can buy some artwork for sure.
Why would somebody do that?
Oh God. Given how the outcome happened, yeah. So I guess you know what we'll kind of start taking you guys in through a little bit. So we have the Nadia piece, which we sort of briefly chatted about. The brand new gift shop. Who doesn't love a museum gift shop? Exit and enter with our wonderful piece. You got to call yourself out here.
The top ones on the right, the blue lagoons, those are mine.
You're beautiful.
And best in show at the Toronto Office this year too.
And represented by Gagné.
Oh, that's right, yeah. The gallery. And Gardiner shop, of course. Yeah.
Well done.
Oh, check. You guys could be the first. Oh. I think we're kind of.
Yeah, here I can.
Oh, thank you, Rachel.
Because then you don't have to come back again. Yeah, I'm gonna.
You're allowed to go cozy for sure. For sure.
I'm Lucy.
I'm Deanna.
Hi. Are you with the Gardiner?
I'm hired by the Gardiner. This is Rachel from the Gardiner.
Yes.
Oh, hi, Alison. How are you?
Recognize some
Oh, you
faces already.
did.
We got some early birds,
Okay.
so we're ready. I think we're just gonna start welcoming them. If that's
Sure,
okay.
yes, absolutely, no problem. And the curators and folks will start gathering around. People will sort of start heading down. But yeah, feel free to start off and
Yeah.
kind of get people oriented.
Perfect. The second sort of thing to note as we walk in is the Femme Fatale exhibition space right here. This is going to be a rotating exhibition. And this one is super fun to start and kick us off. the kitschiness of the ceramics. They're really quite adorable when you get into it, and a knife with get right in there with this one.
Now, Chanel was a artist who died of AIDS and was very active in like the queer scene in Quebec. And his work has been sort of like underappreciated and underrepresented. And so this was a really great opportunity because we have a number of works in the collection that were donated to bring this artist sort of back to people's attention and showcase his work. And there's some sort of archival pieces as well that have never been shown before. So yeah, this space will be a space for rotating exhibitions, largely contemporary. And this is a sort of great first one to reopen the ground floor.
I just want to do a quick introduction to Sequoia and Gabby. They're gonna be chatting us through the first floor renovation here. Huge congratulations to the team. This is amazing. I think for what you guys just saw, there's lots to check out. If you want to say a few notes.
Yeah, why don't I? Thank you all so much for coming. We're so excited to welcome people back to the Gardiner. As you will see, there's still a few little last-minute touches going on, so avert your eyes. But this has been a 15-month project that has really allowed us to reimagine the whole space of the ground floor. And for us, that has been an opportunity to make a more human-centered approach for our visitors, reimagine our collections and their presentation, and really invite people into the idea of making, which is a big part of what makes us unique. So Sequoia is our chief curator, deputy director, and executive director. We're happy to take questions and lead you through the spaces, all the way up to the third floor where we have really exciting exhibition opening tonight. Linda Sormin.
Thank you, Gabby. Hello, welcome everyone. How is everyone doing today? Yeah, good spirits, great. We are, as Gabby said, so excited and happy to be bringing this project into reality. We've been working on it from the concept phase for several years and from the construction phase beginning last summer, so that's from the 15 months. And to see it actually take shape in reality has really been kind of magical. If you know the Gardiner, you will know that this ground floor is completely different from the previous way that it was designed. And the reason that we wanted to transform the ground floor so that the museum could really come to physically reflect and embody the work that we are doing today and we are working toward in the future. So the three main ideas behind this transformation are access, indigeneity, and connectivity. And every decision that we've made has been an opportunity to touch on to these kind of three core ideas. And what they actually mean in practice really varies from space to space. So the area that we're standing in now is the Hillary and Galen Weston Foundation Hall. We're really excited to be able to have this big open space. And when you came in at the entrance, you could see all the way through to the back of the galleries. And that was a really key idea for us, to be able to open up, to really locate ourselves within the city in which we want to spark conversations, in which we do all of our work, in which we're invested. So we're thinking of ourselves as a more open version of the Gardiner than we have been in the past. You can see the big window behind me with the great big sculpture there. That's a way, again, of inviting the city into the museum through openness and through light and through illumination. Where we're standing now, we can also kind of have the physical experience of what we call the ribbon wall, which starts right at the entrance to the museum with the Nadia Near work kind of really are grounding us in this location, grounding us on this territory. Nadia Near, an incredibly amazing, interesting indigenous artist based out of Montreal, has made a work that we can speak more about when we go over in that direction. But the ribbon wall is what really carries through from the public space into the gallery space of the museum. And it's that kind of continuity and connectivity that inspires our work. So it starts with the Nadia Near piece, and then we have the shop, which comes next, which is so important to us. Of course, lots of museums have shops, but we have shops that represent artists in our community. And our shop is really part of our mission. It's a way for us to connect with local and regional artists and to be able to feature their work, both in feature presentations and in everyday The range of ceramics is so phenomenal that it really has all the kind of space and technology applications, but even just in ceramic art, we can have room-sized sculptures, but then a mug or a teacup or something very small and intimate. So having space for all of these manifestations of ceramic art feels really important. So we have our shop, we have a coat check, and then just here on this side, we have what we call our maker space. And this is where we get to what Gabby was describing about having making being at the center of the museum. So many people know and understand and come to love the Gardiner for the ability to make things here. We get our hands dirty. We get clay on our hands all the time. It's really integral to our work. We have more studios downstairs. That's where a lot of our classes happen. And we have a great little smaller studio that we inaugurated in 2017. And we're so happy to have this larger studio space. You can see one of our longtime instructors back in there. Her name is Audrey. She's been teaching at the museum for over 25 years. Her daughter, Natalie, is now one of our instructors too. So this speaks to the kinds of relationships that we build and want to continue to build at the Gardiner, and really see this makerspace as an opportunity to be really forward with our making and to let ourselves, let our hands be dirty in the lobby. It's okay to get a little bit of dust on your shoes. It's okay to be a little bit messy at the Gardiner. In front, in between the makerspace and the lobby, you can see this vitrine, which features artwork, right? It's obviously ceramic artwork. These are all objects from our collection. This is one of the spaces that we are exploring what we call open collection storage. So this is a way for us to have more of our collection on view. Many museums have just a small portion of their permanent collection on view at any one time. We have roughly 40% of our collection on view, which is great. That's huge. That means more opportunities to see and learn and understand. With ceramics in particular, historically, they've been experienced en masse, right? We have both the individual object, but also the idea of a wall of ceramics, if you think of 18th century European porcelain rooms. It's just a great way to see ceramics being en masse. And so we wanted to evoke some of that history while also just looking at a lot of cool stuff. So this is one of our more playful installations. So it's a little bit about play and representing objects in the world. So you can see 18th century rooster tureen, right? This is actually a tureen. It's meant to hold and to serve soup. And this history of representing objects in the world, we also have a boar tureen right here. So you fill it with kind of like a boar stew. Steam would come out the nostrils. And then when you serve it, you kind of lift the top of the head off. So imagine the drama. More recent work we have in here, these are two 20th century pieces, from the last 20 years or so. Karen Dahl, a Canadian artist, Richard Shaw, an American artist, working in this trompe l'oeil of representing the real world style. So it's just a very playful way of working with ceramics. It's been very important for us to include a lot of Canadian artists in our installation. I don't have exact numbers, but I think it's about 50% in our modern and contemporary work is Canadian artists. So again, one approach to interpreting the collection is just kind of putting the work there for you to experience and kind of find your own relationships between the objects without a whole lot of curatorial framing. This next space that I'll draw everyone's attention to is the Community Learning Center. Maybe after you all kind of go on your own, you can explore inside there. We're still kind of getting it set up, and you can see that it has some furniture in there, it'll have books, it'll have other resources, and that's a chance for people to really kind of take a moment to have some reflection and repose and to think about what they've been looking at and what they've been reading, maybe connect with the people that they came to the museum with, or maybe interact with other people just sitting there, maybe look at some of these books that have works in the collection and reference artists in the collection, and maybe more broadly, the history of ceramic art. This community learning center is also a space where we can have classes, workshops, school groups. Again, it's in the center of the building. It's in the center of, maybe I'll stand like right in the middle of the building. So this is sort of everywhere, right? We have the shop right here, we have making right here, we have our commitment to community right here, we have our lobby gallery section of it where we have rotating presentations. That's a way for us to have smaller exhibitions that we can move a little bit more quickly. We have special curatorial president contact happens in here, great opportunity for smaller shows. And then our kind of main event, if I can bring you all in this way, we come into our permanent collection galleries. And this is where we have 4 related collection areas that we are completely reinterpreting. So if you remember our first floor galleries as they were from 2006, and they were beautiful, and they held up really well for 20 years, but it was time to change them. And we had, when this opportunity to change them arose, we thought, well, what are the ideas that we want to explore? Why would we want to change them? I think our checklist is ready to Diana.
Didn't want that in your shot, yeah.
So what are the ideas that we wanted to explore and embody as we started to, reframe our collection? And this is where access and indigeneity and connectivity, again, really frame our work. Indigeneity is right at the center of the gallery. We're inaugurating our new Gallery of Indigenous Ceramics. It was curated by our inaugural curator of Indigenous Ceramics, Francesca Hebert-Spence, who's in the building. Come down in the little. Is she here? Oh, Fran, yay! Fran is here, and Fran really led the visioning of this gallery, which is built upon the relationships that Fran developed with communities in the region. The gallery centers on ceramics of this region, of the Great Lakes, of the Woodlands region, really focusing on 2 main communities, which Fran can tell you about individually when she's in the gallery. The container for the gallery is an artwork in and of itself. It's called Yalakwa, and it was designed by an artist named Chris Cornelius, who's of the Oneida Nation, and he has made this container that really holds the indigenous space at the center of the museum. It was important for us and for Chris that the container be defined so that it's a really clear commitment to exploring indigenous cultural stories, while also being open and encouraging an interaction and a flow between indigenous and non-indigenous. An example of that are the 2 bases that are between the columns on either side of the logo, both on this side and on the far side. And that's where we have connectivity. That's where we have collection zones interacting with each other. On this side, indigenous and modern and contemporary. And on the far side, indigenous North American with indigenous Central and South American. Previously our Ancient Americas collection, we have now reframed as our Ancestral Abeyala collection. And Abeyala, as you will read on the wall label, is a way of reframing and thinking of the Americas, right? Thinking of the Americas as a single continent rather than 2 continents and as one indigenous entity with a broader span. So together, they're kind of the Indigenous Americas gallery. In this section of the gallery, we have modern and contemporary ceramics from the late 19th, but mostly the 20th and into the 21st century. Modern and contemporary includes a chronological case, kind of along here, and then explores more thematic approaches around the corner. This reinterpretation of our gallery has been an opportunity to really explore wider stories within our modern and contemporary collection. We've expanded the footprint for modern and contemporary ceramics, mostly because there's so much happening in this field. There's so many artists at work, both from a ceramics background, but really dipping into the medium. It's been a super interesting area to have. And collecting and exhibitions and activities, so we wanted to feature that as well. As I mentioned, on the far side, we have Ancestral Abeyala, which is artworks from present-day Mexico, Central America, and the kind of northern part of South America. And these are our collection objects donated by our founders, George and Helen Gardiner, so kind of continuing the legacy of the Gardiners' philanthropy and our interpretation of their collection, but taking a new lens and a new approach to that collection, which I really encourage you to read the didactic on there, because we're really taking a different way of thinking about what these works are doing in the collection and their function as this part of the museum. And then along this portion of the gallery, we have our Connected Worlds gallery. And Connected Worlds is a way of reframing previously what were 2 separate galleries. So the garden previously had a gallery for Delft ware, so that's mostly 17th, 18th century earthenware ceramics that has a white glaze on it, and then ornament on top. So Delft ware, and then we have another gallery of Italian maiolica, which materially is pretty similar, but it was made in Italy, and it was made mostly in the 15th, 16th century. What we wanted to do was to really explore both the themes within those two areas of the collection, but also, again, this idea of connectivity. So we've expanded this gallery to connected worlds to talk about the way that the singular technology traveled, the inspiration traveled from China to the Middle East. Then in the 9th century in the Middle East, it was developed as a technology and then really spread around the world and has all these different cultural manifestations throughout different parts of Europe, in Mexico actually, and it's this fantastic story that ceramics can tell about the ways that we're connected as humans and the kind of interests and needs that we have, our bodies, what our bodies need and how ceramics can help support that, but also the technological exchange and the stylistic exchanges. So really a great story about what kind of unites us in our human body. Indigenous and memorial in the center, modern and contemporary along those two walls, ancestral Abiyala in the far end, and connected worlds in here. I will mention that the curator for Ancestral Abiyala Gallery, Juliana Ramirez Herrera, is not able to be with us today. She has relocated to California. But she's with us here in spirit. We're really excited that we were able to have her really lead and develop that part of the project. So here today are myself, Sequoia, and then Fran is here as well. And maybe both of you can come up. Fran and Corrine are both here. Corrine is the curator, a senior curator at the museum and curator of the Connected Worlds Gallery. So all three of us will stay here, and I'm very happy to talk to all of you individually in groups, however you like. And then I will probably go upstairs to our third floor, where we will, as Gabby mentioned, be opening a special exhibition of the artist Linda Sormin. That exhibition opens tomorrow night. I think it will probably blow your minds. Everyone, as they walk into the room, is a little bit stunned and their minds are a bit blown, so be prepared for that. It's definitely worth a trip up the stairs or a trip in the elevator. Linda, the artist, I think she'll be in this space. I know that she's in the building. Linda Sormin is an incredible artist, originally born in Thailand, of Thai, Chinese, and Indonesian ancestry, raised in rural Ontario, now is an artist based in New York, and this is her largest exhibition, first real big solo exhibition in the museum. We're super excited to be able to feature her work and to help support the development of her kind of broad approach. And you'll see in the exhibition upstairs that she's really exploring her family stories of fragmentation around her ancestry in the Batak people of North Sumatra and what that means around origin myths and spirituality and understanding herself as an artist and as a Canadian. So I think a really exciting show. So I'll look forward to seeing you up there in maybe 45 minutes or so. Are there any questions that we want to ask, that you guys want to ask for all three and four of us with Gabby while we have all our attention as one before we start? Nope, sounds great. Okay, well, I'm sure as journalists, you all have lots and lots of questions, so get out your notebooks, and we'll each be kind of in our areas at the gallery, and welcome whatever thoughts, questions, or comments. Thank you so much.
Pastoral of Ayala and water.
Ok, ça va, la lumière ça va?
Ouais, je vais regarder ça dans le petit.
Ok, donc là we are here in the Gardiner Museum with Sequoia Miller, the chief curator. We are here to discover the new exhibition, the new ground space. C'est bon?
Like, I don't do that, but I think it my conscious I don't do like new programs.
What is she? Oh, she writes that.
Yeah, you look at me, it's conversation I hold on. Okay?
Yeah, whenever you're ready.
So, Sequoia, thank you very much for having us today. First question, it's a new space here at the first floor of the Gardiner Museum. What is the biggest change in your project? And what's the change you want to do?
I guess a theory is
Yeah, right. So we're going to take pottery studio next to the pottery studio.
I think it's fine.
So that this space is actually the space that holds those vessels and other pieces that are within the museum's collection and in the exhibition.
Like to add to is what's your inspiration? What was your main inspiration for this?
Sure. So as a designer, I'm always thinking about what are the artifacts after.
And so actually for him, which was
space at the Gardiner Museum. How do you feel today to see this work living?
It is a big moment for me. The voices that are coming in the video are my family members. It's really fun. The roads are famous and like
My name is Linda Sormin, Linda. Middle is Rotua, and last is Sorma. College. the story unfolds for this raw material. And the way that I approach video, finding scraps and found bits of sound that maybe, I got on a GoPro diving under the water in a river in North Sumatra. Those bits come into the video, areas of like cat objects, little shards